purpose of this video is to copy the DMR Marc DMR ID database to your computer and then load it into the TYT 2017 radio. First go to the www.dmr-marc.com webpage. Then click on database heading at the top. Then on this page, click on the link, puts you to this page, and at the first example link, right click, choose Save Link As, then pick the location where you want to save it. I've already got a file there with this name, so I'm going to put a number 3 beside it, because I've already got a file with a number 2. Once you save that file, then go locate the file and right click and drag that file and let go of the right click and then choose copy here. Now that you have a copy, you want to rename that copy to datadump3.csv. Now that it's named CSV, you can load it into Excel by double clicking on it. Datadump3 CSV, double click. Now the file's in Excel, and what you want to do is get rid of this last column here. Just click on the very top heading label, and then hit the delete button. Now we want to insert a column before the city column, so click on the D heading above the city. Once you have that, right click on there, choose insert. Now you have a blank column here. Click on the very top row, double click on there so you have the insertion point inside there, and type nickname, capital on the first letter. Once you have that nickname there, just click anywhere else and it's set. Now this file's in the proper format. We just want to quit Excel, and it says, do you want to save the changes? Yes. It's going to take a little bit of time, I guess. Okay, I guess it's asking me where to save it to, so I'm going to save it on top of the file I already have. Now here it says datadump3 CSV may contain features that are not compatible with CSV, delimited. Do you want to keep the workbook in this format? Yes. Now that we have the proper CSV file with the correct fields in there, now we can open up our code plugs software. Here we want to go to Program, Read Data, that's the read from the radio, that's not the one. Choose Program, then Write Context. Let me do that over. Program, Write Context, and in this dialog you choose Import. Now you go find the file that you saved. Datadump3.csv. Once you click that, you have to wait for it to say import succeeded. And now that the import succeeded, you need your radio turned on with the programming plug connected to it, ready to write to that radio. Then you click write. This is going to take several minutes. So I'm going to pause the video. Well, this recorder here, I don't think there's a way to pause it. I'm using the Game DVR Recorder built into Windows 10. The way to use that Game DVR Recorder is you have to select a window of some type on your computer because it's made for recording a game. So you choose a window and it might ask you, is this a game? And you have to tell it it's a game if it asks you that question. And then it'll start the recorder dialog to where you can hit the record button. But I don't see a way to pause it. So the video is just going to have to last until this is finished loading. And if you want to, of course, just go ahead and fast forward. Or click on the video to on down the line where it's finished, and pretty much you can quit right now because once it's loaded, except for I'll tell you that once you load this database, every time you write a code plug to your radio, it's going to, for some reason, it takes off the two options in the radio settings of the key tone. When it plays a tone every time you press a key, it takes that option and it turns those tones back on. So you have to always turn that off if you want it off. And also it's called Contacts CSV. And so you have to go into the menu, go to Utilities, then Radio Settings, and then I think the Contacts CSV is item number 14. So in that Contacts CSV, you have to say turn them on. And so the Contacts CSV and the key tones, those two always get reset to where it turns the key tones on, and you have to cut them back off every time you load a code plug on. And also the Contacts CSV, it defaults that to off every time you load a code plug on, so apparently they forgot to put those in the menu, the general items menu, I guess. Hopefully the next firmware update they'll have those items in there. 20–30% almost. Yeah, it takes several minutes to load this. So just sit by patiently or go do something for about 5 minutes. Take my advice and talk to yourself. Convince yourself you have something important to say, and then listen. Whatever you do, don't call me and ask me if the grass is growing in the backyard and if the trees are green. Because when I get on the radio, I don't want to talk about that stuff. I want to talk about information that's useful, not just information that's kind of interesting and just waste time. I'm just kidding. I don't care what you talk about. If I get on the radio, you can talk about anything you want to and ask any question you want to. I can deflect any question I don't want to answer just as easily as pressing the button or not pressing the button. Or I can change the subject anytime I get ready. I believe in freedom at the PTT button. I guess if I was smart, I'd find the editing program and edit all this out. I guess if I was smart and not lazy. But you know what? I'm not smart enough and I'm too lazy. At least right now, I don't feel like it. There's really no reason to watch the rest of this. Once it gets done, you're done. Cut the radio off, disconnect the cable, turn the menu on. Make the selection for the contact CSV. And that's it. K7CET 73. I'm not going to say what most people say on YouTube because it's silly. I will not see you next time. So I'm not going to say, see you next time. No, I'm not going to see you next time. If I said anything, I would say, watch this next time. Because you're not going to see me either. People sound like Forrest Gump. Saying silly things. See you next time. They don't say anything. Another thing I've been tired of for about 1,000,000 times already is everybody says it is what it is. That also sounds like a Forrest Gump saying or something to me. Nobody ever says it isn't what it is. So if it always is what it is, why you have to say it? Since everybody already knows it is what it is, why do you have to say it over and over? How about just everybody stop saying it is what it is? Because you can't prove it really. If you could prove it, you wouldn't have to keep saying it over and over and over to try to convince everybody, would you? And if it's already proved, there's no use to say it, is there? It's no way it can be is what it is, because by the time you get to the second is, it's not what it used to be already. So it is what it was, or it isn't what it was. It was what it is. The oxygen in the air already degraded at some by the time you get to the second is, so when you say it is what it, well, the first is already degraded. So it's not what it is anymore. %, 20% to go. it may or may not finish. Does that sound reasonable? Is there a reason to say may or may not? Because if it may, it's already implied that it may not. There's no reason to say it may if it doesn't already automatically mean that it may not. So saying may or may not is totally redundant. So I could just say it may finish, and everybody knows what I'm talking about, and they also know that it implies that it may not, and I can say it may not finish, and I don't need to say any more because it automatically implies that it may. So I wish everybody would stop saying it may or may not. You may know, you may not. You might have heard, you might not. Maybe you thought that, maybe you didn't. Maybe you think it's good to say may or may not, but maybe you don't. How about save some time and breath and energy and just say may or may not, one or the other, please. Okay, it's almost Christmas time. By the time this gets done, it'll be Christmas. Just about it. It may or may not be done before Christmas. You never know, do you? But it is what it is, isn't it? How about it may is be what it may not is be. How about that? Right there to success. Hallelujah. We did it.